Hi, I'm Rusbe from mynzuni.com. Well, this is the show Way to NZ, Way to New Zealand, and this show is about people's experiences who have studied in New Zealand, who are living in New Zealand. So today's guest is Ketan Koli, who's a business owner, he's an entrepreneur, a product photographer, he's a dancer, but also he's an IT professional currently working in the industry. Listen to this beautiful chat that we are having with Ketan today. Let's enjoy this episode. Hi, Ketan. Welcome to Way to NZ podcast. How are you today?
I am doing great, Rusbe. How are you doing? How was your day
I'm
so
doing.
far?
Oh, it's been crazy. Yeah, it's been quite busy. Lockdown right now, but it's good fun. But
Yeah, same here,
Ketan,
man.
New Zealand. You've been to New Zealand. Like I think you came here around 2012. That's when your journey started, which is quite similar to mine because even I came here August 2012. But I came here to study for a year. So, what did you study, and how long did you study for?
I think I came around 2012 in New Zealand, just like you mentioned, and it was I think in the second intake of the year.
Yeah.
I studied. I started studying Bachelor's of Computing, Diploma in Computing Systems, and then my program changed as I wanted to study some more and get into the industry as such. So I planned to study Bachelor of Computing System, and that program then was eventually, and I ended up studying for 3.5 years.
Wow, man. So that's a lot of commitment. You studied here for 3.5 years. So
That's correct.
did you also study bachelor's in India?
No, I didn't. I did not study bachelor's in India. So in India, I completed my standard 12, just like everyone else. I did from Maharashtra board, and after that, I came here to pursue my higher educations.
Awesome. Yeah. So you came here actually at a very tender age, like after plus two
Yeah,
or standard
I think I
12th.
was like 18, 19, somewhere between there, and that was a while. Yeah, it's interesting. Like I came in my
So
teenage years over here.
this is quite interesting. Yeah. So, you're talking about coming to a foreign land at the age
Yeah,
of 18 or 19. What
yeah.
research did you do, yeah, before coming here?
So, luckily, in my case, I had an agent who I worked with, and they were very, helpful in terms of providing as much information about the country, as well as I had some family members here. So it was really helpful for me to gather those resources and get as much information as I can to study, what I wanted to study. And that was really important for me initially to get that support from the agent and the family being here. I had some emotional support as well as some resourceful information out there so that I can go and study and be confident that I'm going to learn a certain program in this country.
That's pretty cool, yeah, because it's always very important to have family around, and if you have that family support, and also if you have the right people guiding you.
Yeah,
In your case, it was the agent, which is very very good, because
that's
they
correct.
they know the courses that are available out here, and they exactly know, what your requirement is, and then they can give you proper advice based on that. So that's pretty cool. Um,
That's
so
correct. Yeah.
talking about coming here and then changing through courses, and I'm sure it's not been a rosy picture. Like there might have been different struggles that you might have gone through also, in spite of family being here.
Yeah, that's correct. When you move to a foreign land, you think that everything is going to be, amazing, and you don't have to struggle and those kind of things. But I think everyone has when once you come here, you'll understand what happens and how your journey starts as a student. At the same time, there will be different kind of struggle living. You had to find accommodation, or you had to find ways to travel around in the city, getting to know the city, as well as if you're looking for jobs, that becomes another problem as well, which you have to surpass. Because when you come in as someone like me who came in this country who was like 18 or 19 with no experience whatsoever whilst working in India, and it's really difficult to find that first job and to get that first interview as well. So I do believe that it is really a lot of hard work which goes into understanding just how this country works, and then how you know put yourself out there to do certain things in here.
Getting acclimatized to the situation and the
That's
scenario, right?
correct.
Like,
That's correct.
understanding. So you've spoken about jobs, like finding the job. So
Yeah.
do you remember your first job in New Zealand?
That's interesting. I have had quite a few jobs here in New Zealand, but I think the place where I started was a video store in Mount Albert. And what that store used to do is to provide rental movies on to people who want to watch movies at home. So we used to give DVDs and Blu-rays and those kind of discs on rental to users who want to, customers who want to watch a movie over the weekend or something like that. And
Suddenly sounds so redundant right now, right? The business is
that's
surely
correct.
not open now.
That's correct. It is definitely close, and yeah. So it's crazy that life has changed so much in those last 8 9 years, and it's interesting how how we see or view virtual content these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you've studied computer science, right?
That's
You've done a
correct. Yes,
bachelor's
yes,
in
yes.
computer science. So for you, what was your mindset? Like, what was your ideal job? Did you know after doing this course, like you changed your course, you did a 3 year bachelor's. After doing this course, did you exactly know when you were studying what jobs you're going to get?
Yes, and that was one of the main reasons for me to change my course midway. The reason being, I knew what sort of career I can get into if I do my diploma, as well as I did some research while studying, is if I do my bachelor's, what gets open for me in terms of my career in IT. And I think that really helped me because I did that research in between while I was doing my diploma. It really opened a lot of doors for me in terms of getting into the IT industry as such. Because with a diploma, you are somewhat restricted to the kind of experience or jobs you can get. Whereas with a bachelor's or with a bachelor's program or a master's program, things change a little bit because you have more knowledge within the IT industry, and then you have the ability to go into those different um, positions, or you can apply for those different roles based on what you have studied.
So what role did you apply for? What was your first role, like after finishing your bachelor's degree or even
So
during studying?
okay, so this was very interesting for me because um, finding that first job in IT as such, I was kind of lucky, I would say, saying that I had to, I had to be that good student in the while studying and have good grades and whatnot. But as part of our study from university, what we had the opportunity to get into was a program by IBM. So there was a partnership between the university and a company, which is an external company like IBM, and we had the opportunity to, as a students, to apply for this program to study as well as work. And within that opportunity, we had to give a formal interview to get into that role, and then we had opportunity to work on different projects within the IBM space, and that's how I sort of got into my first IT role while I was studying.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. So you were actually studying, and alongside that, you were working uh, in
That's correct.
almost for what for a lot of people that would be a dream job, working for IBM.
I
Um,
know, I know. It's
so that
interesting
was
how things sometimes work with your
yeah,
life.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, you're right. Obviously, that there is luck favors the brave. So obviously there was luck involved, but then it wouldn't have been possible if it was not your hard work and then being present at the right place at the right time.
That's correct. So you always, once you're here, like if you're looking for opportunities, you always have to keep your eyes and ears wide open, getting to know those opportunities and being in the right place at the right time. because that might just be the start of your career, or it will be the stepping stone to get into your next role. So you have to make sure, or keep an eye on these industry related programs which are available within your university or within your the area of study.
So now, getting back to current state. Okay, so now
Yeah.
currently, what role are you? Where are you working? What role are you working as? And what's like? Yeah, just let's start with that, and then I have a lot of other questions that I want to ask you
Okay.
about the industry today.
Yep. So at the moment, I work with Auckland University of Technology, and I work as an application support consultant, working on a specific CRM solution from Microsoft. And then my role, it really depends. It can be involved with training certain users within the organization, or it can be involved with making certain changes within the application, helping the application team and in supporting the users within the organization, or training them, or working with someone who owns the product, with the product owner, to make those changes happen within that software.
That's very techie, bro. Very techie. So, look, so you've got an amazing role, which very correctly links in with what you've studied, which is fabulous. A lot of people like find it difficult to find a role on what they've studied.
That's
What do you
correct.
think would be that your secret for success, where you've been able to land into a job which actually aligns with your education? What would you say if one secret ingredient?
One secret ingredient, Bruce Bay, I would say, is you always have to keep trying. You have to keep trying, applying for those different roles and opportunities, and based on what you have studied, obviously. So for me, when I started, I was looking for applying for all the developer jobs, software developer jobs, initially when I started as a graduate, when I completed my studies. But some things were not working for me within that space, and like I would give a one-on-one interview and things would go fine. But if I give a technical interview where I had to
Mm.
code, because I think my skills were not up to the mark, I was not able to enter that space. So
Right.
you always have to keep options open for you initially, at least when you're looking for those opportunities. Once you get in the industry, you can sort of make your way around to do what you ideally want. But for me, it was that I kept on trying applying for these, either the business analyst role or the software developer role. And
Mhm.
then I came across something called a consultant for a solution. And that was pretty interesting, because me, as being graduated from university, I never realized like what software consultants do as such. And
Right.
then something happened, and then I started applying for those consultant roles, because I know that I'm good at identifying different solutions for with what a solution can provide. And then that those things clicked in, and I landed up as a graduate consultant for another organization in New Zealand, which is Fusion 5.
Right. That's fabulous. Yeah. One more thing that I feel is important for young aspirants and people who are watching or listening to us right now are young aspirants who are looking to
Yeah,
make that
correct.
big move. The other thing that I feel also is important is when you're at a new place is networking. And I
Yeah.
don't mean the IT networking, but I mean more about meeting new people from the industry or around. Did you engage in any kind of networking?
So as part of being we within the university, when I was studying, w- I had a lot of friends who used to work at the same time in while they were studying. So for example, someone was doing masters in computing within the university, and they were also studying somewhere. So I got to meet these people while I was studying. And those were sort of some of those incidents where I had to have a chat with them, try to find out what does their role look like, and what do they do in their day-to-day life, as a software developer, or as a business analyst. And that's how I initially got that inspiration. Hey, I want to do this, or hey, I want to become a business analyst, or something like that.
Right. Yeah. It always helps, right? Rubbing off each other's experiences.
That's correct.
Um, so that's pretty cool. Now, so talking about where you are today, what do you feel the industry, the IT industry in Auckland looks like, or in New Zealand overall looks like? What would be your
It's
take on that?
I would say it's booming right now because especially knowing that we are in lockdown and there's not a lot of immigration happening. People are not coming in or going out. So what is happening within the industry is that IT as an industry itself, it grows at a faster pace, and there would be a lot of organizations who need help with software, or who need business analysts, who need consultants for different solutions they're implementing. So obviously, we being in lockdown, that doesn't help getting new people into the country, or getting new people to work in the industry. And that's the reason it's pretty hot, and there are so many different opportunities within New Zealand itself. So you can there is a lot of opportunities for software developers, a lot of opportunities for BI analysts, consultants, business analysts. So all these streams, if you go on one of the job search sites, you would find heaps of opportunities in the IT industry as such.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I can't vouch further for that because I personally been in not in the IT industry but related industry. I can see that there's a lot of shortage or a lot of demand
That's correct. That's
for
correct.
professionals at this stage. Um, so we've spoken about work and we've spoken about life and how that's all happening. But what about a social life? So there's in New Zealand we talk a lot about maintaining work-life balance. Um,
That's correct.
so, what do you do outside work?
So outside of work, I tend to do a few things. Initially, when I started working as a graduate, then I used to I found out that I wanted to do something in the dancing sort of area in arts, and I found out about a dance class over here, and I joined this one of my friends' classes actually, and that was pretty interesting for me, to be surrounded by like-minded people, and someone who we can chat with and also have fun and perform for different events. So that's something I went into, and I did that for a few, I think 3 or 4 years. And I think as life moves on, we tend to pick up new things and do different things. And after some time, I sort of developed an interest in photography and videography. So that's something I do in my free time, whenever time is available, right?
So, I just want to let our viewers and listeners know that Ketan is very humble, but he's actually a product photographer as well on the side. Um, and he also owns a business. So, you're also a business owner.
That's
Apart from that,
correct.
would you like to talk something about that also?
So, with the business opportunity, it came up as such that I wanted to do something of myself over the longer period of time. And I'm saying that, I love what I do for work, but I also wanted to create another opportunities in terms of income for myself and for my family. And that's the reason, I chose to be or enter into the business industry. And we opened a restaurant recently, and it's been ups and downs. I wouldn't say it's all gloomy and blooming, but
Mhm.
uh, but at this stage, obviously because of COVID thing, a lot of things change. And you know we I still have I've still taken that opportunity to go into it and get what I have planned to do.
That's awesome, yeah. No, the reason why I touched that topic is because
Yeah.
I just wanted to show how Ketan is has got so many different hats that he wears. So IT professional by during the day, then by evening you become a product photographer, and then by night or late late evening you are running your own business as well. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool, Ketan. Um, one piece of advice for our viewers or listeners who are watching us or listening to us right now, and who are planning to make that big move, what would be your one piece of advice?
So one piece of advice I would give you is just do your research when you're coming in. Try to find out what industry you're coming in here for. That's really important when to decide what you're coming in here for. And then I would say just stick stick to your plan that, hey, I want to become an IT professional. I will give myself this much time after my studies to find a role, and you keep your head down and just focus, and eventually things will happen. There will be lots of failures. You'll have to give 10, 20 interviews, doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you have to focus on what you want to achieve. And
Yeah.
if you do that, you will definitely be a success.
And
You'll be
also
able
there will
to
be
at
a lot
least
of
get your goals.
and also there'll be a lot of people telling you that, oh, what are you doing, this is all waste. Have you heard
Yeah, yeah.
anyone saying that to you, that, oh, why have you come here, what have you come here to do? Have you heard any kind of comments?
Like initially when you um,
Yeah.
move from your country, your homeland, and then when you come here, uh, you feel that the maybe maybe the move you have done or the change you have made in your life is not that great
Yeah.
initially. But it again all depends on what you want to do over the longer period of time rather than what in the shorter period of time, because people are going to say things, because initially life is not what it's going to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
So you had to work hard, you had to do those odd jobs, and to get where you have to be, right?
Absolutely, man. It all comes with hard work, and if there's no hard work, then you'll not enjoy the success
That's
when it
correct.
comes to you. You know,
You won't
so
value it,
hard work,
right?
you want to value it, so you want to
Yeah.
do the hard yards. Awesome, thank you so much, Ketan. It was amazing to have you here, and there's lots more stories that I want to uncover from you. But definitely, I'm going to get you back on the show. But thank you so much for being here today.
Awesome, Rosemary. It was really nice catching up with you after a long time. I know it's we haven't been able to meet in person, but hey, this is not bad.
Yeah,
Definitely, we'll
me too.
catch up again soon, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care, man. Bye bye.
That was Ketan Koli, a business owner and a IT professional, and alongside that, a passionate photographer, also a dancer. Amazing story. But one thing that I have taken away from this podcast or this interview is that research is very important. And if you want to get into a proper research, check out mynzuni.com. You can go there, create your account, register for free. You can compare different courses. You can know what the career outcomes are. You can know what the industry is looking for. There's so many things that you can actually filter through. Go check it out, mynzuni.com. This is me, Rusbe, signing off for now, but I'll see you next week.